Hello everyone, it's Dan here from Thomas Road Support. In this video we're going to go through the process of building a page with WPBakery's page builder. So although we've given you an extensive bunch of demo content, so you've got loads of different pages and whatnot already raring to go, what you can do is actually create your own from scratch, obviously using the pre-built page builder, and we're just going to go through the process so you know what to expect and how things work. So to begin with, we're going to go to New and Page. I'm just going to call this Dan's Demo Page. I'm just going to go ahead and publish that. Okay, so to start with, we're going to create a nice big header area. Now you could use a revolution slider, which we'll show you in a moment, but for the sake of just showing you how things work, I'll do a couple of different methods here. So to start with, we'll go to Add, and we'll pop in a revolution slider, and we'll just publish the page and take a look so you can see what to expect. Okay, so we've added the block here, and as you can see it's filled in nicely. Now the reason I'm showing you this is the way revolution slider works is it can fill in this whole width for you, whereas other things like a regular background don't work quite the same. So if I to demonstrate what I mean, if we delete everything and add a section, and we'll just pop in a row with a bit of text in there. And I'm going to give the section a background image. That's quite nice. And we'll set this to cover so we can cover the whole area. Let's hit save and update. Now if we refresh the page, you'll see this area doesn't cover the full width of the page. Now this is quite intentional. The reason being you need to actually specify within the page builder when using things which aren't things like revolution slider that you want that to be full width. Now the way this is done, we simply go into the section settings, so we just go back into this pencil icon here, and we set it to stretch section. So if we do that and update the page, you can see that's now filled out perfectly. Next up, you'll notice this area is quite small, which is fine. That's how it should be. We've not done anything to tell it otherwise. But if we wanted to, say, make this taller, then we've got a few different options for that also. Now, I personally prefer to use the empty space block. However, you do have a few different methods. So you could go into the row settings here and specify a specific padding. So if we go to, say, 250 top, 250 bottom, you'll see straight away that's filled out nicely. Or an alternative method is simply to pop in some empty space blocks. So again, let's just do it slightly different. And you see that's also made things nice and tall. Perfect. Another thing you can do if you wanted to, you can actually have this row to be full height. So let's just remove the empty space, and in the row settings again, we can specify this to be full height. And that will automatically make this the same height as the screen. Again, very simple, very straightforward. I'm just showing you this so you've got a general idea of how it all works. Now then, we will go into a separate video of how these CSS classes work, but just for this particular video, I'm just going to show you how you can add different effects to this area also. So if we go back into the page, and in the section settings here, under the extra class name, we can pop in a few certain CSS classes which apply certain attributes to the area, so we can actually tell the page that we are using this to have a background image, so we'll give it the image wrapper class as well as the BG image class. And because you'll notice here the text is light, you can change that to all be inverse. Now you could do this with the text block by simply setting the color to white. However, we've also taken care of this via CSS for you, so if you give it the CSS class inverse text, it will take care of this for you. So if I refresh the page again, you'll see there what this has done. Those classes have given the image a fixed view, so the image stays still while we scroll over it. It's also applied a nice overlay to the image, which makes the text pop. And you'll also see the text is now inversed, so it's white as opposed to dark as it was before. Now again, if you refer to the documentation, you will see specific information on these CSS classes, but for now I'm just kind of showing you how you'd make a nice hero area. Let's carry on. Okay, so to complement that new hero area, I'm just going to set the header to be transparent, and we'll go along and add a few more sections below. So let's add a section, and let's split this up into a couple of columns, and in the left one here, let's pop in some random blurb. We'll make this some nice heading text as well. And on the right hand side, let's pop in a process bar. We'll just give it a jazzy colour. We'll just clone that and give it another jazzy colour and call it process 2. Okay, let's refresh the page. So that page override is kicked in. We've now got a nice transparent header on there. And below that we can see we've got our process bars and so on. So let's move on. Let's add some sections below this. Say for instance if we wanted to have a blog section or such below, we can go back into the page, we can add a section here, and we can pop in our blog feed. You can see there that's popped in below. Perfect. Now with this new area, if you wanted to say have it stand out from the section above, because at the moment it kind of all looks like one giant white area, but a couple of different ways of doing this. We could go into the section settings and specify our own background color. Which works really well. But as you can see, just like before with the section above, that background is within this container. Now if we wanted to have that stretch out to the full width, just like we've shown you before, in the section settings, set that to stretch. And you can see there it fills out nicely. As well as changing the color manually, we also give you a CSS class which can help also. So if you want to just use the grey wrapper provided in the theme, we just remove the background colour we've given. Under the class name here, we can pop in grey wrapper. And you'll see there, that applies the theme's own grey wrapper. So it's pretty much the same thing. You could choose this manually if you wanted to, but it's just a nice addition we've added there for you. And that's the general overview of how to build a page with the Page Builder. If you've used any of our themes before, or WPBakery Page Builder, this will all be very familiar to you. However, if you do have any questions, do come and see me over at support and I'll be happy to help.